Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. It is TCR Trinity Competitive Racing here tonight. It is Silver Class. We are here at Spa. It's round 6 of our Season 10. So we have lots of our drivers already on track, well into qualifying here tonight. I am 007 Professional. I will be your commentator for tonight. I'll be your solo commentator. I'm the only one in the box tonight. Just me. So if you're watching, put your comments in the chat and we'll have a nice conversation. We'll view the drivers and all that. We're on board with Dorian Alpha, who is just starting, I believe, his first flying lap tonight. He's down in P16 at the moment due to no lap time. Just finishing up Sector 1 here, heading down into Ravage, a really nice sweeping right-hander. The camber not really helping at all. Really having to use a lot of the tires to get around that corner. Then left into the no-name corner, getting a nice exit. And then just on our way down to the famous fast left-hander, Puhan, where a lot of drivers can't make mistakes. You can run wide on those curves, that's just fine there. And then accelerating up to about 180, 190 miles an hour into this fast right-left chicane. Taking it nicely in 5th gear. Taking some pretty decent lines. And then here is the long straight. I believe just a tad bit longer than the Kemmel straight, which is in the first sector. But the driver's reaching just about 200 miles an hour, maybe it's just slightly over. We'll see what happens here. He's using all of his ERS, coming around Blanchemont, the fast left-hander, which is not a lift anymore, actually, in an F1 car, and then heavy braking down into the bus stop chicane. Let's see how he takes this. Very nice. Be really careful on the throttle. And only goes P7. So Dorian Alpha, I believe, has some more in the pocket. I expected him to kind of go in the top 3, the top 4, considering his finishing positions the past few races, but nonetheless a pretty decent lap from Dorian. And I believe TCR F1 Racer 85 is just starting his flying lap, so we're going to ride on board with him. And Racer, what a story this season so far. He's actually come from quite far back in the field. He did not have a good first 2 races at Bahrain and China, but he came back, and the last few rounds he actually won the Singapore Grand Prix round 4, and then last race he finished in well, actually he did not finish, he DNF'd, but his 3rd place finish in Japan, 1st place finish in Singapore has vaulted him up to P2 in the championship. So he is our reigning Season 9 champion and showing just why he deserves to be fighting up there. So TCR F1 Racer already on his quali lap. Let's see what he can muster up here tonight. And whoa, look at that, quite close to the wall. I could say you could slide a slip of paper between his tire and that wall. Taking Puhan quite nicely. And then up in 8th gear to 195 miles an hour. Heavy braking down to just 100, just pretty crazy. And you know, you couldn't say the same thing about this back in the 2013, 2014 cars, or even 2012, you know, pre-2012 or 2013. These new downforce spec cars are quite amazing to watch, and I can't imagine driving one, to be honest. You know, I look back and I watch Hamilton's Hungarian pole lap, and that turn 4 was, I think, just blew everybody away, to be honest. So TCR F1 Racer coming across the line to set P4, 42.9. So not bad, but he's got a medium runner in front of him. That's Steven, who was our race winner last week. So he's doing quite well. He seems to be on a surge currently. Okay, also got a lot of people on their outlaps and into the pit. I believe Bamboo is on an outlap. Got Lazo Stunik, who is actually, he did his debut last week at Britain, so this is round 2 for him, or his 2nd race with TCR. We welcome him and hope that he has a good race tonight. Got Gen X, who is also on an outlap. I think Turkey's actually on a flyer, so we'll kind of to see what he can do for the first few sectors, and we might change over to somebody else here. Coming down to Puhan, really looks quite cool from this angle. I mean, he's not flat out, but it might as well be. It's pretty insane. And then coming down, I think this is Stavilo, or I think this coming corner is Stavilo. I know most of the corners, so I think that counts, right? Yes, that was Stavilo. Now onto the back straight, and just draining all the ERS, giving the engine all its power, coming around Blanchemont right here, which is quite easy in an F1 car. You can't say that about the GT3, GTE type cars. And then heavy braking down in the bus stop chicane. Let's see what he can do. But quite clean, actually, on the bus stop. And Turkey Whacker only up to P15 with a 44.3. So back at the top, we got Fire Upflow in P1 right now with a 42.2. And that is actually quite fast. I mean, 4/10 up on Pazosaurus Rex. So good for Fire Upflow. He'll be putting in probably one more quality lap. He's on his out lap right now. So a pretty early flying lap, to be honest. But yeah, we'll see what he can do. Fire up in P1. Paz in P2 at the moment. Jumping down to Gotneweeb down in P5, but Nip Steven only in P4, but on the medium tires. So his strategy for the race is obviously to go medium hard or even medium soft. I'm not quite sure of the strategy, but we'll get some assistance from Codemasters once the race starts. And then a TCR F1 racer in P4, good showing from him. Same TJ, a really good lap from him, but only a 43.3. So kind of a big spread so far from P1 all the way down to P6, P7. Blend Machine in P7, D-Swish P8, Motor City P9, Kano P10. So let's see what the rest of the field, like Bamboo, Dorian, let's see what the Stunik, and some others can do to get inside the top 10. So Motor City kicking up some sand, some grass, and coming down into Ravage. I love this corner because it's kind of like that downwards sweeping angle, and you really got to get the nose in. If you take the wider line through there, you risk just scrubbing the speed and not being able to carry that momentum through those two corners. And then down into Puhan, my second favorite corner on the track, which personally I'm not very good at, but yeah, it's easier, it's more fun on this game, so I think I'm not quite as bad at that corner. And then these two chicanes are, I forgot what the name is, but down here into Stavilo, taking quite an odd line on that entry curb, but gets away with it. So Motor City's actually finished quite well. He finished P2 last week in Britain, and that vaults him up to P7 in the championship on 43 points. But speaking about the championship, there's only 12 points between P2 F1 Racer and P7 Motor City. So that little mid-pack 2nd through 7th is all up for grabs. And the drivers want to do really, really good here tonight and next week at Barcelona, which I believe is the track next week, before we go for our first break. And then we'll come back for the Austrian Grand Prix. We'll have another 7-race stint before our last break, and then the final 2 or 3 in Canada, Coda, and Mexico. Motor City, though, up to P7 with a 143.2. So it seems like the low 143s, high 142s are the place to be tonight. And then Fire Upflow with a magnificent lap on a 142.2, 4/10 up on Pazosaurus Rex, his closest competitor. And it looks like Bamboo is getting ready for his hot lap. Nope, never mind, he's into the pits. What about our new silver driver, ISRL Astunik? Let's ride on board with him. Let's see what he can do. He's already in P9, so not bad, but it's a bit... Oh, he's in the pits too. Well, is everybody in the pits? Let's see. Steven's on an out lap. Okay, Rex. Let's see what Rex has got. Rex is our championship leader, who leads the championship with 70. Oh, we need that's a really big save or a big glitch by Cody's, but his car looked like it had a spasm or something there for a second. My goodness. But all is well, and he ventures on. P2 right now. He's got 4 tenths to find. I'm not really sure how far up he is on his lap. But Pazosaurus Rex, who is currently 22 points in front of his nearest rival in the championship, F1 racer. So he has everything to lose tonight, but I expect him to put in a pretty good showing. And he goes up to P1. Wow, 42.1. That's 1/10. Actually, less than that, only 7/100ths of a second in front of Fire Outflow. So what a lap from Paz. That puts him in a great position. Lead we were just talking about. Fancy that. And he stops on the grass. That's a odd place to stop. Better get going there. They're gonna give him a penalty or something. Yeah, it looks like literally half the grid's on outlaps here, so we'll try to find somebody to ride on board with. Got a Red Bull coming across the line. Steven, who was last week's pole sitter, I believe. If not, he qualified P2 or something. But he was our winner last week. He won because of a penalty because of Motor and Dorian. So I think Steven actually crossed the line in P3, but ended up winning the race. So congrats to him and his championship efforts. Just up Radion and Eau Rouge for Steven. And this is his final attempt here in qualifying. Heavy braking down into Lacombe. Taking all the curb. Not quite so much on the exit though. Let's see what he can do down into Rivage. Oh, just goes quite wide. You see how the front just kind of washes out like that. You really want to control that and keep the nose quite in. And he almost gets blocked by the Ferrari. Who was that? I think that was same TJ or Turkey Whacker. Might have been Turkey, but that was really not the greatest place. And he looks like he's hindering other cars as well. My gosh. And it's just a big thing. Oh, and there's a Haas in the wall, I think. Oh, Paz at Puhan and okay, more drama. My goodness. So Steven is on the soft tire. He recently qualified in the medium tire. I'm not sure if I want to improve my position on the softer tire. If I was him, I would want to stay on the medium tire because that is a really, really good time on that and would play benefit into his race. So we'll see if he completes this lap. Round Blanchemont. He goes into the bus stop chicane, braking quite early, and he's completely out of it. So we will jump to the next person, who I believe is, well, he's on a lap, but not Bamboo. Dorian, just starting his lap. And I want to see what Dorian can do, because Dorian is down in a not great position, down in P13. So I'm not sure what happened on his first attempt or his first 2 attempts, but here's his final one, and he try to put everything he has into it, because starting down that far, you know, there is some risk of an accident, especially into this corner here. Eau Rouge, Radion. Get the steering wheel as straight as you can. Open up the DRS, take a very narrow line. Trying to squeeze everything out you can of the engine. 205 miles an hour, hopefully 206, just barely. It's taking that a bit conservative, I think, and quite a not the optimal line. Let's just say that. I'll be surprised if he improves the sector time. Yeah, it seems like just kind of a clumsy lap so far. He's really gonna have to muster it up at the end of sector 2 here, down into the chicanes, as we have a Red Bull. There's a yellow coming up, so we'll have to just watch out for that. Hopefully it's not in the middle of the track. No, he's off to the side, so that's a decent place to be, I'd say. So quite a decent sector 3 so far. He's 4 tenths up. See, he might improve into the top 10. Which, for him, he needs to, because he has a win in Japan, and last 2 races he's finished in P5. So, you know, Dorian is hitting P6 in the championship and would like to improve on that, but P14 is not going to cut it. Heavy braking down in the bus stop chicane. Pretty decent lines. Gets on the power. P7. Wow. and gets right in there. That's really, really close between Blend Machine and P4. Blend Machine and P4, wow. So Blend Machine and P4 at a 42.7 down to TCR F1 Racer, his rival from last season, in a 42.9, 8th place. So those 5 drivers are close within just 2/10 of each other. You can even include Gottany Weeb on a 43.009. There's only 2/100ths of a second past, or sorry, slower than F1 Racer. But yeah, that is your results. So, wow. Yeah, the lap times overall are pretty close. You got to remember that this is a very long track, one of the longer tracks on the F1 calendar, if not the longest with the lap time. And so that's why we only do 22 laps of the Belgian Grand Prix. Okay, so results. So in P1, grabbing his, I'm not sure if it's first pole, but I think it's his second or third. Passasaurus Rex, P1. Fire Up Flow, rounding out the front row. D-Swish, P3. Blend Machine, P4. P5 is Nip Steven. P6 is Bamboo. P7, Dorian Alpha. P8, TCR F1 Racer. P9, Gottany Weeb. P10, Kano, who also made his debut last week in Britain. So that is your top 10, and those drivers have to start on the tire that they qualified on. Looks like Nip Steven actually qualified on the medium tire down in P5, or up in P5, so that is a really, really good effort by him. And if he can stay up in the top 5, top 6 until the soft runners have made their pit stop, that's going to play dividends into his race, and he's looking to maybe even win this race just because of strategy. So, so good to have. Oh my God! Oh, the grid is gonna be really mad at me because I think I jinxed it. I was talking about rain in the chat before, and they're like, "Don't jinx it, don't jinx it, don't jinx it." And look at this, heavy rain. Oh man. Oh my goodness. Uh, well, I'm not sure if the drivers saw that in the strategy, or in the weather when they first got into qualifying. They must have, but this is going to be a test of the driver's skill. You know, they're going to have to avoid the puddles and really, really be careful with the throttle application. You know, how much you put the throttle on. You know, where you brake, and you know, it's going to be a learning process. Every lap is going to feel different. Every corner is going to feel different, and especially when you're third place on backwards, or on back, you're going to have this huge amount of spray into your you know, your visor, your screen, your TV, your computer, whatever you use. So yeah, this is going to be crazy as they start their formation lap here on a very cloudy, wet Spa Grand Prix. So grab your umbrellas, grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, grab a seat on your sofa. It's going to be a wet one, boys. As the drivers are feeling their way around, I would be very careful around this corner, Eau Rouge, because it's angled in just that way that if you turn too much, oh look at Bamboo just twitching there. If you just turn in such a way and then apply the throttle too much or something, you know, you get like this snap oversteer and you can't save it, and you're in the wall and all that. It looks like Blend Machine was just having a little bit of lag. Hopefully his internet holds up for tonight. Let's just kind of take a look at each driver and how they're coping in the wet on this formation lap. Remember, we don't want any Max Verstappens. It would be not a good thing if a driver went off the track at this point before the race has even started. So Fire Up Flow. I have to say that black Mercedes looks really, really nice in P2 there in the wet. D-Swish being Mr. Consistent this season down in P3, and then Blue Machine putting in a really good qualifying performance for P4. Now you see here the pit stop strategy, one stop versus the two stop. Personally, I would just do the one stop. I think you lose too much time in the pits, especially in the wet. Nip Steven down in P5, Bamboo P6, who's had also a good string of races Bamboo has 2 podium finishes, but that's only been the first 2 rounds. Last round he finished P11 and kind of fell down to P4 in the championship. So Dorian Alpha down in P7, had a good qualifying. Kind of wish he was higher, I'm sure. TCR F1 racer P8, got Newey P9, that also, or the other black Mercedes, and then Kano P10. Then we have Motor City down in P11, Stunek, our debut driver from last week, down in P12. Same TJ in the Ferrari, P13, Lazo in the Alpha P14, who was surrounded in actually a Ferrari sandwich. Turkey Whacker in the other Ferrari 15, or P15, Gen X P16, Robin Hood Lawyer P17, Taffer in the other Racing Point P18, and then Juan with a qualifying ban for tonight for some issues from last week, P19. So we have 19 drivers lining up here on the grid. Let's just say that I'm glad to be up here in the box, all nice and dry, ready to watch what unfolds here in the first few corners. Now, the idea is to watch kind of what happens P5, P6, P7, because what happens there kind of will determine what happens on backwards towards Eau Rouge and Radion. So, it's a great view we have there. Here we go, 5 lights in the wet at Belgian. And the lights are out and away we go. Here in a second. So we have the Cody's glitch again. And they're off. And look at that Racing Point already going on the outside of the Renault of Bamboo. And that's TCR F1 racer. And down in, we got the Mercedes all through cleanly. Going too wide. The McLaren pushes the Mercedes out. Got Williams wide. Got everybody wide here. And it looks like they're all through cleanly. Oh, gosh, in the back, they're going on the grass there. Careful as the McLaren goes, Blinn goes really, really wide. Watch it. Oh, and the Renault of Motor City and Dorian make contact, but everything's okay. Let's look back here. Everybody makes it through cleanly. That is really, really good to see. And we have D-Swish up into P2 in the McLaren. We have Nip Steven in P3. But right behind him is Fire Up Flow. Motor City P5. Pretty good start from him. Motor City up 6 positions again. I swear, this guy 3 races in a row just makes 6, 7, 8 positions up. And now Motor City up to P4, going around the inside of Fire Up Flow before the no-name corner. So Motor City on an absolute charge. Fire Up Flow down to P5. He's already lost 3 positions. Got Newey and the other black Mercedes up 2 positions. But look at Blinn Machine. What's happened to him? His wing looks okay, but down to P9, he's lost 5 positions. Really not a great start from Blinn Machine. He'll be looking to make his way back up as fast as he can when everybody is still close by and we haven't settled into our tires yet. And then look at Bamboo and the Renault outside the points, already down in P11. So quite a few changes already, but still a big clump of colors on our mini map, which is always nice to see. But look at Paz. Paz is already over a second in front of D-Swish, opening up that gap, and he has the benefit of no spray. Ooh, a yellow flag, and that is Taffer. Taffer looks like he spun at Stavilo, so he has fallen off the pack there. Robin Hood Lawyer falling off just a little bit down in P18. Juan bringing up the rear in P17, and then we kind of head into the pack. Oh, and there's contact there. The Ferrari of Turkey, I believe, or TJ. And then Blinn pit, so he must have had some damage, and good for him because he was having a horrid first lap. And again, you know, I think also in China he had just a really bad opening lap, and that compromised his race. So this is another compromised race already on lap 2, and yeah, there goes off, off the wing goes, and on goes another one. So Blinn just not having a great start, and here's another predicted pit stop strategy. You know, as we haven't seen that enough already today. Fire Up Flow down. What happened to Fire Up Flow? He just lost 2 positions, I think, at the top of Radion. So all the drivers just kind of getting settled down after the first opening lap. We got the glitched rev limiter on Kano's cars. Will go to F1 Racer here. Just kind of right on board and kind of see how difficult it is to really apply the throttle, turn, really just try to squeeze everything out you can to overtake. It looks like Gottny Weeb is kind of in a different position that he's used to. He's up in P6 because there's quite a big gap in front of him to the Renault of Dorian Alpha. So we have the Weeb train. F1 racer, look at him just trying to use his overtake to try to get past Gottny Weeb. And if he can, he'll be making his way towards that top 5 in front. But just can't get close. I think he must be running, and he's already out of his ERS for the lap, which is quite interesting. Look at fire up flow almost on the back of Kano there, taking a really not great line and compromising his exit. And Bamboo's right on his rear. Bamboo trying to get a really good exit, has all of his ERS, puts on the overtake button. Hopefully it doesn't lose the rear because it's very sketchy if you are... Oh, it just goes slightly deep into that and has to kind of take a very deep line and gets overtaken by Lazo, the Alfa Romeo. Lazo up into P10. A really opportunistic move by Lazo, and Lazo already up. That's brilliant right there. Got to be careful of those tracks, but in the wet here, it's so hard to really gauge that and keep that. So kudos to these drivers for really trying. That fire up flow is looking towards the inside here. Do I see a late braking move? No. No, he wasn't far enough up. Look at Steven. Steven's right alongside of D-Swish down along the no-name corner. So, God, these two are going at it, and they've had some decent battles this season already. And look at this through Puhan. There's just no grip at all, and you want to be really careful when to get out onto that green patch of curb that can snap your car right around and you're done in the wall. But it looks like Steven just has the outright pace advantage at the moment. It's getting like Kirby's just kind of wants to spin you. It's pretty crazy. Oh, just loses the back end there just slightly. But I'm happy to say that all 19 drivers are still in the race. A little spread out. We've had, Blue Machine pit. Same TJ, I think he might have spun. Oh, D-Swish! Oh, he's out! The VSC, I would do a full safety car, but that's just me. Oh my god, D-Swish. Wow. Oh my gosh, look at that on the left-hand side there. We'll ride on board with Turkey Whacker. Look on the left-hand side. That is crazy. If it was a VSC, I would be maybe pitting if he had wing damage. If not, I'd stay out. Turkey almost losing it. Be careful there. Be careful there. Dorian Alpha is pitting. What's Dorian going to do? Put on wet tires? Yeah. So new tires, probably the race will restart on lap 6, maybe 7. Probably lap 6 though. So not much about the leader so far, but Passasaurus Rex still in P1. Steven in P2. Motor City, look at that, up 8 positions. That's pretty incredible. That's really good. So if Motor can pull out another podium tonight, then that might be P3 or P4 in the championship. That's pretty good. And we got Gottny Weeb in P4, TCR F1 Racer P5. Kano P6, Lazo P7, making up 7 positions, so the next highest position change of improvement. And then Fire Up Flow, Bamboo, and Astunic bringing up the 8th, 9th, and 10th positions. Fire Up Flow losing 6 positions, Bamboo losing 3, but Astunic bringing up P10, gaining by 2 positions. And looks like Rex just lost a little bit under that VSC. Gap down to 3 seconds, and it looks like Steven is catching Motor City. I think he just extended the gap just a little bit, but he'll be looking to keep up with Steven and Rex. But there's a really, really big gap actually down to Gottny Weeb in P4. I'm not sure if he missed the green on that or what happened. But he's got that train behind him. Well, it was a VSC, that's why. So He's got a train of cars. He's got F1 Racer, Kano, Lazo, Fire Up Flow, Bamboo behind him. Then a little bit behind that is a Stunik, kind of by himself. And then he's got Turkey Whacker, Gen X, and Dorian. Dorian is right behind Gen X, by the way. On the side of him, actually. Going down to Losaurus Hairpin. And Gen X is on the outside. Dorian down the inside. Dorian makes the move. Whoops, wrong way. Dorian makes the move up into P12. So maybe pitting for tires was a smart thing to do. I want to keep an eye on Blinn Machine though. Blinn Machine, oh man, I feel for the guy. He's already down 11 positions and had wing damage. Had to replace his wing under the virtual safety car. But hopefully he can get a top 10 tonight. He deserves it. He's just had some really bad luck lately. Ooh, look at Kano going a little wide on Puhan, almost losing the rear, and he's all over the place. He's like it's like a little boat in a really big monsoon storm. You can't keep it upright. I'm telling you, these conditions are really poor. You can kind of see where you want to drive. You kind of see like that racing line. It's a little darker than the rest of the circuit. But when you're driving these cars at the limit, it is really hard to keep them facing the right way and really taking that optimal line, braking at the right point, accelerating at the optimum point as well. So all these drivers in our silver class are doing a really fine job. Speaking of silver class, these are our drivers. Tomorrow night, oops, yellow flag. What happened? Oh, that's Taffer. Taffer has his second spin of the race. And Taffer's around at Puhan, and hopefully he didn't damage anybody. He's got a car coming up right behind him, and he doesn't get in the way. Robin Hood, watch out. Yeah, Robin Hood taking it very careful around Taffer, so my goodness. Yeah, but speaking of tomorrow, we have our Golden class. At the same time, Golden class only uses the racing line, but no ABS, no medium traction, so just the partial racing line for them. And then on Thursday, we have Platinum class, who uses no assist, no racing line, and nothing. It's just the driver and the car and the track. So tune in tomorrow night and Thursday night at 8:15 Eastern for those respective classes. So the gaps are a little bit big at the moment, and that's a thing that happens with wet racing. Sometimes it's more of a level playing field, so once the drivers kind of spread out to be within 1 to 3 seconds, those gaps kind of fluctuate, but they really don't close down or really open up. It's kind of a stagnant, it's kind of a long chess game. I want to say I've seen a lot of drivers though go wide. We'll catch Dorian Alpha here. Yeah, I see that. They kind of go wide on that curb, on the Puhan curb. We'll catch Gen X doing, oh, never mind. Yeah, I see it right there on that Haas. Juan going really wide. That just kind of unsettles the rear, as you saw again, and Juan will get very twitchy. So, a lot of drivers taking that outside curb. Watch Blinn do it. And for me, it really unsettles the car if you get on the gas a bit too harshly after that, because you're still turning as well, So, Pazosaurus Rex, our leader, our championship leader, and our Spa race leader so far. 3 seconds in front of Nip Steven, who's in P2. P3, still Motor City, with a nice healthy gap on either side of him. He's got 4 seconds to Steven in front. He's got 5 seconds to F1 Racer behind him. F1 Racer does have a little bit of pressure with Lazo in P5. So he'll be keeping an eye on the Alfa Romeo behind him. Kano putting in a really good performance, actually. He wasn't able to show it last week. And Britain. Who's that? Somebody's spun. It's a McLaren. It's Blinn. Blinn. Oh my gosh, he's having the worst race of his life. I mean, wing damage, a wing repair, a pit stop under the VSC, and then round he goes at Blanchemont, and then straight he goes at the bus stop chicane. And into the pits he goes. Blinn is not having a good day. He forgot to pack his swim trunks and the umbrella. So, They'll be looking to make a recovery next week at Barcelona. But back in the front, Motor City has a healthy gap. Again, he has 5 seconds to Steven. Another flag, and that is, who is that? Taffer again, and that's wing damage. That is half a wing he has. So he'll be going back into the pits and replacing that, I am sure. Probably needs. So Lazo giving F1 Racer just a little bit of a headache here, kind of keeping him in his rear view mirror. Bamboo up to P6, who just passed Kano at the chicane and Stavalo. So Bamboo and the Renault up to P6, Kano P7. Got a Stunik who's fighting off the Renault of Dorian Alpha and P9. Dorian Alpha making some positions up. He's going quite nicely here. He's already passed Turkey Whacker, Fire Up Flow. His next rival to pass is ISRL of Stunik. You know, the rain seems to be getting a little bit better. It's not as heavy. It's not as thick as it was at the beginning of the race. It could just be me or my screen or something. Both drivers really struggling to get the power down out of the bus stop chicane. That bus stop chicane, the camber does not help in these tires, especially full wet weather. Does not help. Oh, look at Dorian getting so close to the rear wing, and oh, the Stunik getting really, really squirrely. And surely Dorian's not going to want to make it too wide here, coming into Eau Rouge. And the yellow flag, that's a McLaren. We'll have to look at that a bit later. And judges that beautifully. Look at that. And it's going to go over the long way around. This is a little bit longer than the inside. He's using his overtake, and I bet you Stunik is using his as well, and he's not actually. Oh, Stunik backs off. He decides best of it to back off. Oh, Dorian goes wide. Can he hold the position? Stunik just, oh gosh, almost drives in the back of him. It's so hard to see in these things. But Dorian keeps the position. Dorian up to P8. What an overtake. Good for him. But behind that, though, look at this. We have this big train behind Fire Up. Well, really, we've got Dorian here. Stunik is actually falling back into this battle here with Fire Up. Turkey Whacker under immense pressure from Gottny Weeb. Gottny Weeb looking to make a move down the inside of Puhan, but thinks of it a second time and tucks back in behind the Ferrari, again taking so much of that curb on the outside. That's, oh, and there too, that just makes me so nervous. Like, ugh, I don't know. But the Ferrari currently in a Mercedes sandwich. The Mercedes cannot get any closer to that Ferrari. And Blin has retired from the session. Blin just not having it tonight. He has decided to hang the gloves up for today. But he'll be back. Gottny Weeb? More like Gottny Fear, because he is right in the back of the Ferrari. Yeah, he's not afraid of any curbs, to be honest. I don't know if he's running like 10-10 ride height or what. Or he's got some super sticky tires. It's like, give me some of those if we were racing the wet on Thursday. And it looks like Turkey Whacker hit the pits. A little bit early if he is going to be pitting for tires. Looks like a lot of drivers are actually quite early. Look at that. We got Motor City, who's now exiting the pits on intermediates. It is time for intermediates. Wow. So this is the crossover point. I was telling you it was getting a little bit lighter rain, and this is crazy because look at this. We got a Stunik here on the full wets and Motor on the intermediates. So we got a variety of tires here. Fire Up Flow. I'm going to change this to tire. Whoops. Tire. Okay, so wow, look at this. It's like a rainbow in green and blue. Fire Up Flow. Let's just go from the top. It'll be easier. Lazo in P1 is not pitted yet. He's on 8-lap-old wets. Rex Steven pitted for intermediates. Blin Machine. No, he needs an invite. Oh, he disconnected actually. So we're going to invite Blin. Sorry for the interruption, guys. Whoops, wrong person. Invited Blin. All right, and we're back. So Steven in P3, Kano P4 on the wets. Dorian on the wets. Motor TCR F1 Racer on the intermediates. So I want to see what is faster, the intermediates or the wets, and it looks like the intermediates are faster. Okay, I'm going to invite Blin Machine to the party, so you guys give me just 1 second here. All right, and we're back. Yeah, but it's really interesting. I think the intermediate tires is definitely the way to go. And if not this lap, it's definitely going to be next lap as well. And you guys, we might have a special guest coming in today. We have, that man actually has just joined the commentary's booth. We have Blin Machine, who unfortunately DNF'd from the race, so obviously not a wonderful day for him. Had a series of problems, but super glad to have Blin Machine in the box with me tonight to commentate alongside the second half of this race. Welcome, Blin.
Hey, yeah, I would have liked to join on different circumstances, but this is league racing. It happens. Didn't have the best of starts, which is really funny because usually I don't qualify well, but then I have a really good start. And today was the complete opposite. I qualified really well, and then I was nowhere at the start, and I was trying to avoid all the incidents, and I ended up in an incident anyways. And then I just couldn't get the tires warmed up. The set that I put on after I came out was just completely cold, and I couldn't get it up to temperature, and I hit the wall a couple of times, so yeah. I called it a day.
Yeah, saw a few of those incidents. Yeah, you qualified, I think, P4, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, good qualifying. Oh my gosh, look at Dorian going across the curb at Lacombe, the exit of Lacombe down to Rivage, but got completely on the curb. I thought he was going to wreck for a second, but was able to save that, so good for him. He's involved in a battle with Kano right now for P7, and Dorian's still making up positions, but again, looks like everybody has mostly transferred on to the intermediate tire, which is obviously the tire of choice right now, as the rain seems to be lightening up. Still got one driver on the wet tires, though, is Fire Up Flow. Fire Up Flow still struggling. He's got a Haas of Juan right behind him, and I'm not sure if Fire Up Flow can really defend from Juan for the rest of this lap.
Yeah, so far it's a pretty interesting race, as it seemed from my perspective. I see that Rex has really run away with it, and he's putting in fastest laps. But there's still quite a bit to go. It's halfway through the race, lap 11 of 22. And yeah, I'm watching the battle here towards the back of Juan and Fire Up Flow. Juan is really closing in on Fire Up, who's still on that wet tire, pretty much the only one. And Tafur is on a medium tire on the dry. Oh, and there goes Fire Up Flow completely wide into the gravel there. And that's a position for Juan.
Yeah, I think those wet tires are done. Those wet tires are not suited for the lighter conditions, so he'll be wanting to change those to intermediates. I'm not really sure why he waited that long. It was worth the risk, but Fire Flow has had some good finishes. I mean, he where is he at in the championship? Well, actually, the past 3 races he used DNF, so scratch that. P5. Oh wow, somebody just hit the wall. That was a Mercedes into the wall at the pit lane. Yeah, Fire Flow just hit the wall, Blin, at the pit lane entrance. Yeah, I just heard a big crunch, and I was like, wait, what was that?
Yeah, and he's not getting a front wing change. It doesn't seem to be any damage, I guess.
Is he putting on the wet tires? Oh, he's retired, okay.
Yeah, he's retired. Gotcha. I found out one thing that sort of helps out if you want to retire in the pits. Once you get into the pit lane, if you go into the AI and retire then, it pretty much retires you by the end of the pit lane, so then you don't really come out back on track like Fire Up is doing right now, but he's right towards the back, so not really going to impede on anybody.
Yeah, that should be fine unless he goes really slow. But the AI is set, a bit higher, so it should be okay. Just watching the battle between Dorian and Kano. Kano only 4/10 behind. Well, Kano's been there for a few laps and just looking to try to get a good run onto this back straight or a good run onto the Kemmel straight, out of Radion and Eau Rouge. But, as I was saying earlier, Blin, I think it was before you joined, I was saying in these kind of conditions, in the wet conditions, especially heavy wet, transitioning to intermediate, it kind of levels out the playing field quite a bit to where, it's harder to really close the gaps or really extend the gaps. So everybody's kind of in a limbo after they've kind of found and settled down a little bit, if that makes sense.
There goes Kano trying to overtake Dorian again, but not able to close in. And I think the other thing that the rain is doing here is the DRS, right? You're not getting any DRS, which is something you really hope for in Spa. It's something that really, really helps you out here, but tonight it's not here to help our drivers out. I did see a couple of drivers there, both Kano and Dorian, going a little bit wide off track there. Not sure if they went over the white line or not, but definitely in these greasy conditions, that's another thing that's going to be just hard to do. Just keep it on track altogether.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that for my race on Thursday. You know, man, how am I going to take Eau Rouge? You know, you got to stay inside that curb there and do this and do that, and um, especially since this track is so
Oh, a
fast.
Sunik just retired.
Yeah, and a
Virtual
virtual
safety
safety
car.
car. So, same TJ. It looks like Kastunik disqualified. He DNF'd and he crashed out at Radion because I see a stationary blue dot,
Oh,
and I think
yeah.
that's him. So he
Yeah,
might
I
have like
think you're right.
overcorrected or maybe gotten the curb and overcorrected and went straight in the wall. So we'll see. We'll ride on board with the same TJ, see if you see him.
He just disappeared
He just
as he
disappeared.
came up the hill. It was, literally just a split second. But if you want to see a crazy save that I had through Radion and Eau Rouge today, I will definitely upload that as soon as I can. It was my first half lap, I guess, coming out right out of the pits. It was my out lap after changing my front wing. And I had a tank slapper and a half. I have no idea how I managed to keep it together, but I actually kept it on track as well.
Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah, upload that. I want to see that. That'd be awesome to see. What I'm seeing right now, though, is a Ferrari with a Mercedes attached to its rear going around Blanc-Chamois. And the Mercedes is not giving up at all. And this is Gottney Weeb and Turkey Whacker. Gottney Weeb going slightly wide, though, on the exit of Blanc-Chamois. Down the bus stop chicane, and looks like he was about to outbrake the Ferrari for a second, but decided to not go for it. That would have ended in disaster.
Oh, and how's Tafur doing here? He's still running on the medium tire. He's using the overtake. He's only driving in first gear, and he's got 100% ERS. I have no idea what's going on with him. Is he an AI car, possibly?
He could be. Didn't he retire? Or
I'm not sure. It seems like he's driving okay now, but there he goes into a tank slapper around Radion and into the wall. Now he's got damage.
He's got somebody coming up, I think.
I
Somebody
don't
coming up
think
behind
he's
him.
an AI car. Is that
No.
Rex? No.
No, it's a AlphaTauri of Gen X, I think. Yep. Yeah, Tafur, I don't really know what's going on with him. Medium tires? I mean, you could hold your hand out. Oh, what's ooh? He's I want to say that this could be a trip to the stewards.
I've got another Phantom driver here tonight. Who's running in 5th position in the Alpha?
Oh, Phantom driver. That's Lazo. Lazo.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Lazo in the Alfa Romeo running P5. So that is your Phantom driver.
Every now and then I have this empty space, and yeah, I always have to figure out who it is. And who is that going slowly there? Is that F1 Racer? No, that was not F1 Racer. That's Tafur.
Yeah, still going slowly on those medium tires with overtake on, but I'm not. It's got to be a glitch or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but F1 Racer and Motor City, they might be in a little bit of a battle here in the next few laps. F1 Racer's definitely gaining on him. You gotta use your overtake around here. That's the only real thing. And I gotta say, like, F1 Racer just went through a Rouge and Radion there, completely flat out in 8th gear. I have no idea how he's done that.
Yeah, that's impressive. I'm on board with Motor City if you want to be on board with F1 Racer. Motor City he has only 20% of his ERS.
I was gonna say F1 Racer is almost within DRS zone, but of course, no DRS here to that.
Exactly. Not in these
it would
damp
be great
conditions.
if it dried up just towards the end of the race. There would be definitely a treat.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, I would force these drivers to either pit or not pit, with the crossover point come soon enough to where, the advantage was to go to the dry tires or, would the advantage still be to stay on the inners. So, I kind of hope it dries up. We would go from a full wet race to intermediate to dry. That would be quite the spa race, quite the typical spa race with that Belgian weather. Hey, looks like Tafur did go ahead and retire in the pit lane. So that is our 5th driver out tonight. some high attrition here at Spa.
Yeah, and both of the McLarens out, which is definitely going to hurt our fight for the championship, both me and Swish. I guess Swish retired a couple of laps before I did. I'm not exactly sure what happened to him, but we'll probably find out later on in the group chat. But yeah, absolutely crazy race here tonight. It was fully dry qualifying with a fully wet start to the race. The prediction on the weather pretty much said rain throughout the whole race. It was saying heavy rain, but clearly that's not true because we can see already that it's cleared up a little bit. So anything can really happen. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we go to the dry tires in, you know, the last couple of laps, or maybe we won't have enough time to actually go on those dry tires, but it might get dried up.
Yeah, I was going to say it's only 7 laps to go, so it's going to have to really get dry here in the next lap or two. Maybe even, I mean, no more than, what, like 4 laps? You know, because I don't think you can really make up that time, that pit lane delta, in only 2 laps. But no idea. There also could be a safety car, a late safety car. You know, we've already seen a few VSCs this race. And TCR F1 Racer is still on the back of Motor City. Motor City really wants that podium. But F1 Racer is just not able to get up to Motor City without that DRS. So as you said earlier, Blinn, you know, the lack of DRS here and the wet is, I think, preventing drivers from really closing up and just kind of enabling that kind of limbo status, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also it accumulates together with the new sort of dirty air that they've decided to put on the game for this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think you just pretty much have no choice. And also at a track like Spa, you know, it's corner to corner to corner. You only have really the couple of quick DRS spots, like up from Eau Rouge and then the one on the start-finish straight. But other than that, you know, this is not Baku. You can't really just book it down the straight and overtake people on slipstream. And now with the rain, intermediate tires, no DRS, yeah, it's not easy to get around somebody.
It's not easy to navigate, especially, you know, a track like this with these super powered cars. But so the racing isn't, you know, maybe as close as we've seen, you know, last week in Britain or the week before, or, you know, any of the races this season. But these drivers are still working hard, if not harder, because mentally it's exhausting to try to, you know, perfect every corner. Really, not to slide the tires. If you slide the cars, you seem to just bleed time. So really trying to find the limit of the tires, the limit of the aero, the handling, and then trying to perfect like the entry and the exit to every corner. You know, as we see Motor trying to do to defend his position from F1 Racer, and these drivers are still within 1 second. And there's only 5 laps to go. Well, actually, really 6. But this is the closest battle we have here on track, so we are watching this at the moment. But to be honest, personally, I love driving these types of races. They may not be the most interesting to watch, but driving them, you know, it can definitely be rewarding if you get a good result. But it can definitely be not so rewarding, Blinn, as you maybe have experienced tonight.
Well, yeah, I mean, it happens, and I feel like I never really made it with this new handling model in this game this season. It's just been, you know, like, I'm quick, and then I'm not, and I've also gotten into a bunch of trouble. So, you know, Spa, in the rain, in the wet, it always brings a lot of trouble, and fortunately I was a victim of that today, but still, we've got 10 more, or is it 10 or 12 more rounds to go in this season? I think 10 more rounds.
I think 10, yeah.
So we've still got a lot of time, and you never know what's going to happen. But yeah, driving in these conditions today was pretty good for a while until it all went completely wrong for me. But I did enjoy it for the time that I had.
Yeah, 10 more races to go. Only 10, actually, because we're already in round 6. So this season has been flying by already. I've been having a blast, actually, doing commentary on Tuesdays and racing and Platinum on Thursdays. And I know
now Bamboo is trying to close up on the back of Lazo. He's not using his overtake just yet. He's only down to about 30%, but they're right on the straight up the hill. Oh, it looks like F1 Racer has overtaken Motor City. I think Motor City has gone wide there. And F1 Racer goes up into 3rd place now, into the podium position.
On the curb, yeah. F1 Racer in third, Motor in fourth. So Motor just taking up all the track, trying to get that position back from F1 Racer. But good eyes, Blinn, because I had missed that. I was watching that battle between Bamboo and Lazo.
I'm not sure if we lost Sean there for a second. 007, you still with us?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me? I wonder if my mic has gone out.
Yeah, not really sure what happened to 007 there, but I guess good thing that I'm on the stream here. Motor City is now in fourth, trying to chase down F1 Racer, but it's not going very well so far. He's already dropping into about 9/10 of a second back. He's back on now, and
I think I'm back.
yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, all right. What have I missed?
F1 Racer did get around Motor City. He's into third position and a second clear. Bamboo is closing up to Lazo. That's pretty much it. One is now into the pits, and it looks pretty
soft tires for one. That's
yeah.
that's
I was just gonna say it's getting a little bit drier on track, but not that dry.
Yeah, not that dry. I was going to say, it looks actually quite the same. I was only gone for maybe a minute and a half to 2 minutes. So sorry about that, guys. Just had a mic drop or mic cut or something. God knows what. But I'm on board with Bamboo and 1.1 seconds behind Lazo. So Bamboo, if he can get a top 5, that'd be a good result for him. Bamboo currently in P4 in the championship with 52 points, only 3 points behind P2, F1 Racer in the championship. So Bamboo is kind of on the verge of kind of chasing down Pazosaurus Rex for the championship. But speaking of Rex, he is in P1, 12 seconds clear of Steven. So Pazosaurus Rex put in a kind of like a like a how-to show or something for how to drive intermediate tires and full wet tires at Spa in the wet. Wow. He's been in a league of his own,
Yeah, I'm actually very closely watching Juan here on board with him and just watching him go around the track because I'm not sure when this is going to go wrong, but I have a feeling it will go wrong.
It's going to... Oh, he's about to go around at the exit of Puhan.
Oh, wow.
Let's see how he takes the chicane and how he takes... Careful on that curve there, you can get really sideways. See how he takes Stavilo.
Not too bad. I mean, pretty impressive, I gotta say.
Yeah. Not bad, though.
Wow. That is scary. I would not be putting on soft tires in these conditions right now, especially when it goes in between conditions. It messes up the track so much. I feel like you really got to get a grip on it and figure out when that time is to switch from one compound to the other.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's having trouble through the last chicane, but he made through there. Oh, hard to get back on the power. The back just wants to go all over the place, wiggling on him. But yeah, I mean, if he can keep it together, he might put in a pretty good lap here. We'll see.
Yeah, we shall see. Only 3 laps to go as well. Lazo is
like
within
Bamboo.
1 second of Bamboo.
Yep.
Are you watching that battle?
Bamboo got around Lazo already. I guess we missed out on that.
Yeah, Bamboo did get around So Bamboo is in the top 5, because we were just talking about that about a lap and a half ago, how Bamboo would be good for him in the championship if he got around Lazo into the top 5. And let's see what else we got. That's the closest battle we have is Lazo and Bamboo. The next closest one we have, I think, is Motor City and TCR F1 Racer. But really, all those drivers are pretty equally spaced. But let's keep an eye on Lazo, because Lazo could... I mean, if there was DRS, right, if it was dry enough, you know, Lazo could have a chance to get back around.
Oh yeah, I mean, if it was dry, there would be battling going on all over the track, I feel like. So, yeah, Spa usually delivers a very exciting, a very close battle track race, because, you know, you're always going into sort of corners that look like good overtaking places, but they end up not being so much, so it's definitely exciting. But now with the wet conditions, I guess everybody's just trying to make it to... And as we mentioned before, it's just so hard to get close to somebody and then get around them. You know, just gotta use your overtake. That's the only tool you've got without DRS.
Yeah, overtake and trying to just get a slightly better exit than your rival. And, you know, like I said earlier, it's so much fun doing it. You know, and sometimes, you know, we don't understand, like, you know, I'm like, oh, come on, guys, you know, overtake battle, you know, it's not hard, it's easy. But, you know, obviously when I'm in that position or when you're in that position, you know, they're just sweating and really trying to, you know, just drive the car as best as they can, not lose it, because, you know, one small error there could, you know, mean you're in the wall and, you know, ending a race. So these drivers are probably out of breath and really trying to maximize everything they have, which is awesome because that's what it's all about, honestly. But it's so cool that we can be within this close of a range from, you know, Steve and F1 Racer to Motor, you know, Bamboo, Lazo, Dorian. They're all within just a few seconds of each other, or, you know, Lazo only 7/10 behind after 22 laps in the wet. You know, it's absolutely incredible. The skill of these drivers is so close.
And Lazo just went half a second quicker on his best lap there than on his previous best lap, so he's definitely really pushing now. Lap 21 to 22, he's within 6/10. Oh, going really wide there through Radion and Eau Rouge. Had to lift off a little bit there and keep it together, and that's lost him all of that time. But now Bamboo is actually gaining on Motor City.
Motor's in danger of losing P4. And I want to say about 7 laps ago, he was sitting comfortably in P3. So Motor, you know, he's going to want to maintain that P4 and just going to try to fight off Bamboo. And Bamboo is right on the back. Bamboo might actually get past before Sector 3 begins. So we're in for a good finale here. This is kind of spice things up towards the end.
Yeah, nice little battle for P4 right towards the end of the race. Last couple of laps. Let's see what these guys are going to do. It might also, you know, that sort of pressure might push somebody to make a mistake. So, you know, it's hard to focus at this stage of the race right towards the end. But, yeah, Bamboo is just right behind Motor City. He is not letting up anything. He's definitely gaining a lot of time on this lap. And now they're starting to look like they're getting closer to some other cars in front of them. I'm not sure if they're lapped cars or if those are the other cars, but yeah, this can get heated up real quick here.
Yeah, there's a lapped car actually between F1 Racer and Motor City. I believe it is, it's either Robin Hood or Gen X. I'm not sure which one, but hopefully it doesn't get, doesn't get in the way of Motor. And this is going to kind of ebb and flow all the way to the end of the race. They're on their final lap now. Paz is a good 12 seconds clear of Steven, who is another 4 seconds clear of F1 Racer. So the battle we're watching right now is, look, the Alfa Romeo of Lazo against Bamboo, and Lazo gets really sideways there and saves it. Good save by him. But for a moment, I thought he was going to go straight into the wall, and we are going to have just a huge wreck, possibly collecting Kano behind, or Dorian behind.
Here comes Bamboo on Motor.
Bamboo. Where's Motor going to go? Motor's going to defend the inside. Oh, look at the speed of Bamboo, and Bamboo's going to hold around the outside and makes it work. And Motor's trying to come back on him through the exit of Lacombe, and DRS is enabled, so this is the final lap. But obviously we can't pit now, it's the final lap of the race. But these tires might be overheating just a little bit, so it's definitely spiced up towards the end. And Motor really trying to just get everything out of the tires, and you can see him just screaming out of the corners, not able to put down the traction, losing all that time to Bamboo. Bamboo is being much more careful, just kind of kind of easing the car into the corners. You can see how much time he's gaining on motor. He's got to be careful, Lazo, but Lazo's quite a ways back behind. But that was great by Bamboo.
Oh yeah, beautiful move there. And in the meantime, Chrono had a moment coming up the hill through Radion and Rouge, so unfortunately that didn't work out for him very well. But Paz is about to cross the line in the second here. He's gotten ahead so far.
Yeah, it's like we've almost forgotten about him. We're watching the battle for honestly it's P3 at the moment, because Bamboo's is less than a second behind F1 Racer. But Paz has crossed the line in P1 and takes, I believe, his second win of the season. His first win of the season was Bahrain, but good for him. Steven crossed the line in P2, and another great result for him. Another double podium, second week in a row, as F1 Racer barely finishes P3, only 6/10 in front of Bamboo. Bamboo barely missing out on the podium. Motor City in a top 5, which is a good result for him. Dorian Alpha didn't quite make the top 5, but a P6 is good nonetheless, especially considering his qualifying position. Lazo in P7. Gotney Weeb is now running the bus stop chicane to cross the line in a pretty healthy P8. Turkey Whacker gets 2 points for Ferrari tonight, so increasing Ferrari's Constructors' Championship tally to, I think, 4 or 5. Or actually 6 or 7. But Turkey Whacker just taking it nice and easy. So hopefully he doesn't run out of fuel, because it sounds like it. There he goes. Turkey Whacker crossing the line in P9. And then about 22 seconds back, we have Gen X going to be bringing up the last points paying position in the AlphaTauri. Okay, an interesting line through the bus stop chicane. It's the Gen X line. And crosses the line in P10 with 1 point to his name, adding that to his 3 points. He'll have 4 points now. And then same TJ, P11, Kano P12, who has not crossed the line yet, is slowly making his way back towards the start-finish straight. But what a race. Blinn, you got anything?
Yeah, I'm actually just inviting all the drivers, the finishers, the podium finishers into the stream here, or into the party, and kind of talk to them. But yeah, there is actually our winner right there.
There's Rex. Our two-time race winner here in Season 10. It's a pretty dominant
what a
win.
freaking race, holy. And Lazo gets driver of the day.
Lazo, yeah. Look at that. Like, that's a nice podium. If we can have that in a real F1, where we have like a Haas, Red Bull, Racing Point, it's kind of cool. Get some other teams up there.
Yeah, so the weather definitely did exactly what we were thinking. It changed into almost dry right before the end of the race there, but overall, definitely an exciting race, and those last couple of moves there for last positions on the podium was definitely exciting to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody's mad at me because, I was talking about rain before the race, and all of you guys were like, "No rain, no rain," and it rained. So.
Yeah, I was saying pray for no rain too. So you can blame that on me too. But Spa is just one of those tracks where you got to be prepared for that to happen. It can happen. It does happen quite often, and it's happened here tonight.
Absolutely. So Rex, let me just go down here. Show us more results. There we go. Let's make sure we got them all.
Yeah, we've had a lot of viewers throughout the stream as well. Great job, guys. Thank you so much for watching it so far. We're gonna get our podium finishers into the stream here right now, into the party, and we're gonna talk to them as well. I've already invited F1 Racer. Oh, I think he's just joined right now.
Yes, TCR F1 Racer 85 has joined.
Yeah, it looks like Nip Steven is in another party, so won't be able to invite him.
Okay. But we have our 2 podium finishers.
Yeah, we have the winner and P3.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, so Paz, Mr. Rex, what a race! What a dominant race! Man, this is your second win of the season. Your first being in Bahrain, but yeah, you put in a really, really commanding performance out there on the track, especially in the wet conditions, transferring to intermediates, and then we had like DRS enabled at the very end there. But how do you feel with your win tonight, and just kind of how did it go for you?
I'm super happy to come away with the win there. I checked the weather coming into qualifying, and I was like, "Oh no, it's gonna rain. I'm screwed." But it ended up working out for me, so can't complain about that. But super gutted for Swish. He's always had a couple of really, really unfortunate retirements whenever he's in a good position to get some points. But things happen, especially in the rain. And yeah, just did all I could. Ended up working out.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice job. The kind of the beginning of the race where it was kind of chaotic and you just kind of pulled out a gap there. You got a really good start. Do you think if you started back in the field, you would have had this easy of a race, or do you think it was because you had that really good qualifying, you're able to kind of control the race from the front, as we've seen, so much before?
Well, I mean, definitely starting on pole doesn't hurt anything. I feel like I would have made up a few positions if I was in the middle of the pack, but definitely would have been harder, especially with all the chaos at the start, with everybody slipping and sliding around.
Yeah.
And so, hard to tell whether or not you would have been able to avoid the chaos or not, but
Yeah, it's kind of a kind of a hit or miss, right? Especially in these wet conditions.
yeah.
Awesome, man. Hey, Blaine, you got anything for
Yeah,
Mr.
Vez,
Rex?
just wanted to ask you one question. Did you do anything different to your setup when you saw that the race is going to be in wet conditions?
No, because by the time I saw that it was going to be wet, I'd already applied my dry setup and did one qualifying stint.
All
Oh
right,
wow, wow.
gotcha.
That's quite impressive then. If you ran with a dry setup and put in a dominant form like you did tonight, so well done.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Have a good night, man.
You too.
All right, next
So I
up
guess we'll
we have
move on to F1.
F1 Racer, right? F1 Racer, are you there?
Yep.
Awesome. And you crossed the line. What was it? P3, right?
Yeah, P3.
Yeah, P3. Yeah, what a drive! And actually, you've put in some really good performances as of recent. You won Singapore. Unfortunately, had a DNF last week in Britain, but you did have a third place at Japan. So you started off the season kind of rough and are kind of coming back now, kind of showing why you're the season 9 champion. So how does the P3 feel tonight? And how does this kind of set you up for the next few races, knowing we have a break in about 2 weeks?
Well, I kind of compromised my race right from the word go. I think I was P5 after the first qualifying run. Waited till the end of the go to go back out and forgot to put on a new set of softs. So that led to me starting P8 or P9, and the feeling at the start of the race, everybody was maybe being a little too cautious, tiptoeing around. Everybody was really bunched up. Definitely hard to see.
Yeah.
I'm sure Rex had the best seat in the house, but it was just battling every lap, trying to pass one car, pass another. Finally got up to motor and kind of dive bombed a little bit, but I couldn't sit behind him any longer. I had to try to get to P2, but I chewed up my tires, and it was actually I almost threw it away on the last lap coming out of Radion. I almost went into the to the wall.
Oh, really? You just kind of took too much curb there, or what?
Back end just stepped out going into Eau Rouge, and by the time I got up to Radion, I was 2 car widths away from the outside wall.
God, jeez. Well, good thing you didn't bend it, because that would have not been great. But another good P3 for you. I got one more question, actually, and then we'll move on to Blinn if he's got anything. Do you find, because I found that this race had a lot of the gaps a little bit further out from one another, and it was more of like a gap battle between guys. Do you find that gap battling like you had tonight is harder or easier than battling more wheel to wheel?
Yeah, for most of the race, I felt like I could get close to the person in front, but I couldn't get past.
Right.
I forget who I think I was in like P7 or 8, and it took me forever to pass. I think it was Got Any Weeb. I think that's who it was.
I think that's who it was actually. We were watching on stream.
It was just chip away 1/10 at a time, a little bit, and then you make a mistake, lose half a
That's
second.
That's gotta be mentally exhausting, you know?
It was not enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it. Because to me, that's harder. When I do that kind of stuff, more endurance type racing and more races like that, that's more exhausting than really fighting wheel to wheel. Because the wheel to wheel is not an extended period of time. So I felt for all you drivers out there tonight. Y'all did really, really good job.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Blinn,
Yeah.
you got anything?
Just same question as I asked the winner. Did you do anything to your setup when you saw that it's going to be raining for pretty much most of the race?
Yeah, I put on a full wet setup. I actually never even practiced for the wet, so I got online real quick and looked for any kind of wet setup that might work. Threw it on, and I think I had better pace when it was full wets, and then as it started drying out, the car was a lot more loose. So that setup probably wasn't the best for the entire race, but had to do something. I knew my dry setup would not work.
All right, well, good job. P3, that's a good position. Nice podium finish for you, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks.
Good luck. Have a great night.
You too. Cheers.
All right, Blinn. Well, that was a really nice race, and I really do appreciate you jumping in the box with me at the second half of the race to keep me company. That was a really nice surprise, and I hope everybody watching has enjoyed tonight. I do just want to give a shout out because I personally forgot to do it during the race, but a shout out to our affiliate sponsor, Fanatec, who sponsors about 70% of our grid here at TCR. They give out great equipment, and I have Fanatec myself. I think Blinn may have some Fanatec equipment.
No.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I guess I'm wrong. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't really afford that at the moment, so I'm just racing on a Thrustmaster T150. But I would love to have some Fanatec gear. Definitely makes some great equipment.
Absolutely, that's coming in your future, Blinn. But we do thank Fanatec for being our affiliate sponsor, and if you're watching and need some gear, there's a link in our description. Go and use that and enjoy. But that is pretty much it for tonight. Don't forget, tomorrow night at 8:15 Eastern, we have our Golden class, who will be just as exciting. There's a really good championship going on there in Golden. And then Thursday night is our Platinum class, and that is no assist and no line. So that is our top tier here in TCR. And then obviously next Tuesday we are back for Barcelona before we take a 1-week break, and then we come back for a second stint of the season. But if you've been watching tonight, we thank you so much for sticking around and watching. I am 007 Professional, and alongside me was Blinn Machine. We'll see you next time. Have a great night.